Oh, I was really shocked when I moved to Canada. Like, seems like all the parents here do not care about their kids' grades a lot. And if their kids go to like a college, like in Canada, a college is more like a 2 year program compared with university, which is like 4 year bachelor program. They'll be like, oh, my kids go to college, it's totally fine. But in China, it's more like, oh, kids have to go to university, and it has to be a really good university if you decided to go.
Early high school, like late middle school, early high school, um, my parents, one of the problems like that we had then was just like they didn't want me playing as many video games as I honestly was. And I remember that there were some talks, there were some conversations, one particularly I think was like my mom sort of said like, don't you remember, you used to you used to write and practice a lot and, go out on the weekends, play hockey in the dead end, whatever. And then she's like, and you don't do any of that stuff anymore. So I would say like that was really the only time that I like they were kind of encouraging me against my will.
I was thinking more about like, what am I actually like gonna do to make money as opposed to like what's important to me. Just like lost interest in like actually like writing music formally. Yeah, I was just thinking about like what's something practical I can major in, and I was already minoring in computer science, so yeah. She was probably like even like a bit like enthusiastic about it, because like as a mom it's like, oh, my child like actually wants to do like some like STEM major or whatever, and like I'm not even like that interested in computer science, but like I mean there is like some security in that sort of major, I guess, so
Like something I want to tell my kid would be spend time to be more creative. Yeah, be more creative. I want them to know this at a very young age, because I feel like being creative, this trait, and also can help them a lot, because being creative can help them to create things and to find more solutions to a problem, or just to find more ways to live in general.
But like I think like it was just like night, and like my parents were just like unwinding, watching TV or whatever, and I was like still playing the piano. Maybe I was playing it kind of loudly, and like one of them told me like could you like stop for now because it's late, and I think I just was like kind of like angry because I was like, you're watching TV and I'm playing piano, like that's like a constructive thing. And I don't know, I guess I felt like really passionately about that like I didn't think I was doing something wrong. So yeah, we had like a kind of bad fight about that. But
it's an interesting example, because you talked a lot about how your parents taught you like the value of being creative. Do you think that's maybe why like subconsciously you were very upset there, that you felt maybe they taught you that it's good to be creative and to create, and then they were telling you to stop?
Yeah, maybe. I feel like, yeah, I mean, like I think my dad like just did more stuff with art in general when I was a kid, and like I mean he still does art projects and stuff, but like I mean he's like not as invested in it like these days. which was maybe like a bit sad for me to see growing up. I don't know.
They were okay with leaving us alone, and he was just like, you know, he's the older one. So but definitely, like, when I think about those times, it wasn't like he felt like he was an authoritative figure, like a third parent. It definitely was like fun. In fact, yeah, like we definitely got up to some shenanigans in those times when we were home after school. So yeah, it was always like, yeah, much a friendlier, like brotherly, yeah. Yeah.
You're like the person she mostly like relied on in the family. Do you think you're the first person to talk
No, I
to
don't.
her?
Actually, I don't think so.
No,
I mean,
why?
10 years. 10 years is
Mhm.
like a huge gap. It's like a
Uh-huh.
decade, you know?
Yeah, I know.
The things she like now, it's not the same as me. And actually, we don't talk that much. And you know, I'm now in the States and she's back at
Yeah.
home. It's like
Mhm.
12 hours distance, and every time I call back home, she doesn't really talk either. So it's just very hard to connect with her. And I think she still sees me as a parent, like, you know, and she won't talk that much with me, but I think I'm better than my parents when it gets to like talking with her. And I try to talk with her, but sometimes I don't know, I think it's kind of my family thing. We don't actually we seldom like communicate, you know, not
Like
talk,
express
like
yourself?
communicate. Yeah, we are so bad at that. And sometimes like there's so many things that in my head I want to tell them about, or I want to communicate them about, but when I see them, it's like I don't know how to start. I think like the atmosphere in my family sometimes says it's just so weird, but it's like we are a family, but we never really like talked. We never,
I know.
you know. And with my sister, I think that's the same thing. We never have like serious conversation, and I think some part in my heart, I'm afraid of having those serious conversation, and I'm just like I'm avoiding them sometimes. But I've been trying to talk to my sister sometimes. Oh, but one thing, my mom told me last week that my sister, because I think there's like a homework of something, saying that asking her who is like who does she admire the most in this world, and she says me instead of my parents, instead of my father and my mother. And I think one thing is that maybe we don't talk that much, but I think we might connect it like deep in hearts, but we don't talk that out. And I don't think that's a good thing, but it's just so hard to change, you know? Yeah.
Actually, just accept the fact that my parents beat me before, because it happened, and I can only accept that, because I can't. So I used to blame them for beating me. So like I thought about, if they didn't beat me, I might be like a better person now, or I will not have depression. But actually, I think it's not true. Because I think the reason my parents did beat me in the past was that their parents beat them. So they feel like they need to beat me to educate me to be a better person, in their opinion, in their like mind. And I understand that, and I accept that now. So, and I feel a little bit sorry for them, because yeah. And I kind of talked about it with my parents, with my mom, not my parents, just my mom. I talk about how she would beat me in the past, how she talked really shitty things about me. Yeah, and she felt like she didn't really say anything. I was just complaining, just like, I don't think she was really touched about what I said, and she was not really moved. She would just sit there and just listen to what I said. Yeah, and I feel it's kind of, for me, it's an understanding from her. Like, she knew what I was going through at that time, and that's it. She doesn't really need to accept what is my opinion about her. Like, she doesn't really need to understand. She just needs to listen, and that's it. Yeah, I'm really glad like she listened to what I thought about her.
I think I find that I feel more comfortable being open with my mom, or also that my mom does something that's good for me, where often she'll know before I say anything, and so she'll often be the one to, like, I almost rely on her to initiate that openness, I guess, because I feel like I won't on my own, and she's got good instincts to know and to, yeah, she's pretty good, even like over the phone, over texts. Yeah, it's surprising sometimes. She can tell just, yeah, like over her text, even.
I don't really know, because I don't think it's my family actually, but like financially, of course, it's them. Like financially, I know, right? Financially, it's definitely them, but emotionally, I think sometimes my friends, and sometimes it's only me, myself. I don't like to share that much. If like, I think I think I've changed some now, because I will share sometimes, but I don't think I share that much with my friends. Like, I share things, but I don't share serious things. I don't share my inner thoughts, or I don't know. I think when I was feeling down, I was like cry by myself, or just like being alone. That's something that I do. Like, that's the way I deal with my emotions, and sometimes it's been hard, but I think I'm doing better, because I think coming to US, it's definitely improving some of my like situations, and yeah, I don't think I really rely on somebody.
Rely on my grandma the most, and my mom, and probably my dad. Yeah, that's the rank. Because my parents were really busy while I was like at a younger age, and yeah, and my grandma, like all those like Chinese family, grandparents are those ones who raised their grandkids up, and that's the same for my family. And
I have a hard time answering this question without just thinking about how this would cause a time paradox.
Well, let's pretend it wouldn't.
That just kind of like scares me, because like, I mean, I've made mistakes, and like I've definitely made mistakes in life, but like on the whole, I'm like somewhat happy with who I am. So like I just like couldn't, like, yeah, the idea of just like somehow like attempting to like butterfly affect my own life, like this like messes with me, but I'll try and answer the
I
question.
mean, your answer could be no, I don't want to talk to my childhood self.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that to my.
Yeah.
I might end up giving my childhood self like schizophrenia. Like I saw my future self.
I would want to know my younger self's opinion on the things that I liked. And if I could then use that to help me now to sort of like hear the enthusiasm I have about like things, particularly music and such. And whereas when I was younger, I didn't have the like ability or the mindset to really unleash the, you know, ideas and things that I wanted, but I definitely had the enthusiasm for it. So want to hear that, like, to recycle the term from before, like that, like blissfully ignorant enthusiasm, I guess. Yeah.
Would you say you lost that enthusiasm a bit now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess I kind of am like at an interesting state in my life where I'm realizing that like there's that sort of enthusiasm. It certainly can and will come back, but that like blissfully ignorant aspect of it that really made it like so pure and that's something that really can't come back naturally. Probably that's one of the helpful things about working with children is that you're constantly exposed to that enthusiasm, and you can kind of like photosynthesize it, I guess.
I'm sure you could borrow that enthusiasm from kids who aren't you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Child, so.
I was kind of realizing that as I was saying, like, oh, that's absolutely like one of the joys my parents find in teaching. And like I'll hear my parents talk about like a book they've read or something that, you know, and yeah, there's like enthusiasm in their voice about it, and that's probably just being around these like elementary school aged kids. It's probably very like healing, I guess.